I recently caught up with Brandon Harris at the Gretna team camp. We got a little bit insight into the life of Brandon Harris, and he said it all starts with being a servant, and he also talks about humility is a big key to life's success. What's one of the biggest things you've learned that's helped make you a better coach?
Be a servant, and include the people that you have. You know, it's not my show, it's our show. You know, I've tried to give more and more stuff to the assistants as we go through the year and as they get more experience. And like at this camp, we're starting to work on some new things with Coach Hensley, my assistant. Now, this is his second or third year as my varsity assistant. He's been a JV coach with us. And at the camp, he's handling substitution patterns, which I love. I don't have to think about subs or anything. And so he's doing all the substitutions. You know, he's going to handle certain parts of our offense and defense. And it's not your show. And, you know, be a servant, serve the kids, serve the other coaches. And, you know, that usually that helps you be better.
Not necessarily team camp related, but what's your biggest thing that you love to teach or coach with basketball?
Basketball mimics life so much. And I think our kids today they don't have a lot of opportunity for this. I'm going to quote somebody. I used this all season for us. I think I did it when we were at Brookfield. But Tom Brady said, the gift of sport is adversity. And we live in a society now where for some reason we don't want kids to fail. We don't want them to suffer any adversity and have to work through things. And on the basketball floor, it's going to happen. You're going to be exposed defensively, offensively. Somebody's going to be bigger, stronger, better than you are. How do you react to that? You know, because life's going to have adversity. There are going to be times in life where you do everything right, and the situation that you have to face just sucks. And how do you handle that? How do you react to that? And hopefully for our guys, and you know, I've been blessed to be around long enough. I'm seeing this a little bit, and I'm not taking credit for it, but I see some of my former players now that are really good fathers. And to me, that's success for our program. They're great employees. They're running their own businesses, and I'm proud of them because I feel like they learned through some adversity, maybe a little bit in the basketball floor, that life's tough, and sometimes you just got to be tough and work through it.
Overall, who would you say gives you a lot of good advice? Past or present?
Oh, wow.
I'm going to assume Dad.
Yeah, my dad does. Sometimes my dad's advice I want to hear, but it's the advice I need.
With all the good advice Dad's given, is adversity a better teacher than Dad's good advice, if that makes sense? Do you need to make that mistake?
Right. I think there are times it can be, not to take anything away from Dad,
right.
but you know, the great thing about adversity in sports is that in the grand scheme of life, it's not a big deal. You know, if you do something wrong on the floor, you might lose a possession, you might lose a game, but you're going to go home, you're going to do everything. You know, the adversity in life, that can be life or death sometimes if you make bad decisions. And so this adversity is almost like it's in a bubble, and they can learn, they can do, they can mess up, we can correct, and then we're all fine at that point. And I think it's just a great way to teach it.
Define the word preparation for me. Not by Webster, but by the Brandon Harris Dictionary, which I always love.
Consistency. And you know, again, I'm getting older. I don't know if it's wisdom or just figuring out I've done everything wrong enough. I'm figuring out the best way to do things. But preparation is consistent. And if you're constantly prepping and constantly thinking, it makes it, when you get to the point where you're ready to go, you're actually ready to go. There are so many things that, from a basketball standpoint, there's so many things, like as a staff, that we talk about now. And it's all season. We talk about things that we want to do that we put into a notebook or into a file or something, so that when it comes time, which November, December, we've already discussed this. Fran Fraschilla said one time that it is great to make high-pressure decisions in low-pressure situations. So, you know, we talk about things like in the big basketball thing, are you going to foul up three or not late in the game? You know, we've already talked about that. by the time the season comes. So it's not where we're trying to hash it out on the sideline. We already know what we're going to do.
What do you like doing? In general.
You know, and I'm going to cop out right here and say it depends. Because with us, a lot of times we don't have great size. So what we usually try to do, and team camp is a great place to see this. How effective are we on our free throw box outs? Do we feel confident in it? And if we get into the season and I don't think that we can box out and rebound on the free throw line, we'll play it out. We've had years where we played it out. We've had years where we fouled. So it's really a year-to-year basis depending on our ability to rebound a free throw, which should be simple, but it's not.
What if you're watching a game on TV? Do you scream foul, foul, foul when the guy's got a three towards the end of the game and you got fouls to give?
You know, I've never really nailed down the philosophy because we're so dependent on personnel. And I think for me, it's the same at that level. If I'm watching the game, I know anything about the teams. If they can rebound it, I would foul it. If they can't rebound it, I would play it out.
What if they don't call the foul? What if they call continuation? You know, to me, there's way too many variables.
Yeah, there's a lot of variables there, and again, it's something you have to practice. You know, and we practice it. You know, in season, not out of season, obviously, but in season we practice it and we talk about it with the kids, and we'll stop practice and say this is what we're going to do. Again, to try to make sure that there's a high-pressure decision made in a low-pressure environment so our kids are clear when they go in there. Now, do we always execute it right? Obviously not. But it's really a thing of preparing beforehand so that you don't have to have that split-second decision.
Is there one skill, not basketball-related necessarily, but it can be, is there one skill that you wish you had that you don't about life?
I don't know if you have enough time to record this.
We do. I charged my phone up today, so we're good.
Right. You know, I always admire people that have great patience. I don't know that I have great patience sometimes. I got a little better as I got older, but I'm not the most patient person.
You teach, right?
Yeah, and I'm still not really patient. You know, I admire people that are very social. You know, I can talk all the time, but you know, I'm a whole lot more comfortable if you told me I need you to get up in front of 100 people and talk, and I need you to talk to this person one-on-one.
Right.
So I admire that, and something that I'm always striving for, and to be honest, I pray for it every day, is I think one of the greatest things you can have in life is wisdom. And wisdom comes with age and experience, but that wisdom is the thing that kind of takes my lack of patience and makes it a little better sometimes, because I realize, you know, back in the day I lost my coolness. I don't need to do it now. So, you know, it's probably why I'm a little, and I say this now and I'll lose my mind in this game, I'm a lot calmer on the bench now because I realize it doesn't make that much difference. I just kind of sit there and watch the game, and makes my mind clearer too. So I think wisdom's a big piece to it.
So final thing, is there one thing basketball has taught you that's helped made you a better husband and father?
It's not about me. It is not about me. I guess humility.
Right.
When you take a lot of losses, and I've taken my fair share, it's hard to be arrogant. But when we've had success, I've realized, and God's been really good about showing me this. It's about the people in the room with me. It's not me, you know. And then the things that change from year to year are the players that we have, and sometimes the coaches. And so there are times when, you know, Tony Bennett said coaches get too much credit when they win and not enough credit when they lose, or too much fault when they lose. Right. And I think that I've really learned that it's, you know, I do what I do, and I try to do it to the best of my ability. And if we're successful, I haven't scored a basket for Staunton River since 1992. You know, in 1992 I scored a few points, but I haven't scored one since 1992. Now I haven't had a turnover since 1992 too, so it balances itself out. But just the humility of, you know, it's not about me. It's not me that's doing this. It's a group of people that sacrifice and put a lot of time into it, a lot of effort, and then when you approach it that way, you become really appreciative of your assistant coaches, you get appreciative of your kids showing up, the parents that are supportive, and you start to realize that this is kind of the family that you're building right here for this season that hopefully leads you to success.